Hi, Hannah. I just wanted to start out by saying I loved your Unpacking the Standards website. I thought it was a really good way to show standards 2B and 2C. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about it and answer the questions that you had for us. So the first question you had was, what can I do to make this website better? I thought the website was really great. I would have loved to see some more examples of how to use it in the classroom, but other than that, I thought it was a fantastic website, and I thought that you did a really good job of showing us how to unpack these standards and showing us how that we can use them, and giving us lots of great information and resources on this. So that was great. And your next question, of all the steps mentioned in your ladder of success, which one do I think is most important? That the ladder of success I thought was a really cool idea. I don't know if that was something you came up with all on your own or if you got some ideas off of the internet for it, but if it was on your own, it was a great idea and I loved it. I think that a lot of them are extremely important. The global issues, meaningful lessons, high expectations, to appreciate your students' value and positive relationships, those are all extremely important. And I don't think I would want to have a classroom that didn't have any of them. I think, or that didn't even have one of them. I think I would want a classroom that would have all six of these things in your ladder. But honestly, I think that that positive relationships one, when talking with my CE about how to really get students to do and accomplish what you want them to, having positive relationships and having relationships at all with your students is extremely important, and it's one of the best things that you can do. If you can build relationships with your students, not only just normal relationships you have on the side, but positive and meaningful relationships. If you can build those with your students, then you can connect with your students on a much deeper level. You can understand what their interests are. You can understand how they're doing and why they're doing what they are. You can understand where their grades are coming from. You don't just think, okay, this kid got a bad grade, I don't really know why. You would know because you're making those relationships. Or if you don't, you can always ask that student. But I think that's a big one, especially for diversity in the classroom, to build those positive relationships with students. And in that way, you're also being a leader. And you're showing the students how to build positive relationships, and then they're able to go off and build their own positive relationships with others. I do also love meaningful lessons. That's another one of my favorites. I think all lessons should be meaningful, and I think that they need to be in such a way that they can be applied in our everyday lives, and that they can be applied from the point that the students learn them throughout. They're not something that they have to wait. Oh, I have to wait until I'm 21 to apply this lesson, but they can start applying the lessons you're teaching them now. And then, of course, another one of my favorites is high expectations. Having a fifth grade class this semester and next semester, high expectations is a big thing in the classroom that I'm in. And the students who are in my class, they're treated like many adults. They have really high expectations. They don't get rewards for things they should already be doing because they know they should be doing those things, and they thrive off of it. And it's because my teacher holds them to such high expectations that they want to meet those expectations. They work hard for her, and she's trying to get them to work hard for themselves. But there's students who will just not want to do that on a day-to-day basis. And if you can hold those high expectations, and that will get your students to want to meet them for you, and that will just open up a door of awesomeness. Your last question said, what are some strategies you can think of to teach diversity or to teach diverse learners? These are two great things and two necessary things in the classroom with how the classrooms are ending up these days. To teach diversity itself to students, I think it's important to teach with global awareness. Teach from all different perspectives, all different angles, all different cultures. I mean, it's a big thing, and teaching diversity in the classroom, it's not something you can do in one lesson. It's not something you can do in one quarter. It's something you have to stretch out all year and work hard at and get down. And it's not something that's going to be easy the first semester. It's going to be something you have to work at and keep doing. And finally, you'll think you'll have it down, but there's still more you can learn. But in order to teach diversity, you just need to find the broader spectrum. And I think last semester in social studies, last semester when I was in social studies methods, we learned about that concept-based model for lesson planning, which you're doing this semester. And I think that's a wonderful way to include diversity in your classroom and to teach diversity in the classroom is through that concept-based lens. What concepts are timeless. They can be taught with any part of the world, and they're abstract. I mean, there are all these different things, and that really ties along with diversity. To teach diverse learners, on the other hand, that is something that you as a teacher have to learn and have to probably just do. I'm thinking of splitting groups different ways so that you can teach diverse learners, giving students opportunities to do things in different ways. You can use a computer, you can use a book, you can use pencil and paper, you can use the library, you can use this place, you can sit here, you can sit here. I mean, to teach diverse learners, you have to give, I almost want to think of like a bunch of different ways to do one thing. You want to give them options so that they can show you what they can do best, because one person is not going to be the same at something as another person is, if that makes sense. And so that's a great way to teach diverse learners, is to be able to have those different outlets for students to do things, to show you their skills in different ways, and not have to all sit down and write a paper, but sit down and write a paper, or show me a visual on the smartboard, or make a play, or make a song, or do this or do that, as long as you can show me that you know the information. And I think that's a great way to teach diverse learners, is to have lots of resources, lots of opportunities, and lots of choices. And I think that's great. Again, I loved your Unpacking the Standards website, and I enjoyed it, learning with you. Thanks, Hannah.